Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And a very warm welcome to Friday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. Smash the like button if you love me. Have your say, subscribe if you're new. So James Gunn is in full marketing mode for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So of course, he's talking about DC and his future plans. I mean, imagine if you're an MCU fan or stan right now, how infuriating this must be. Not only is one of your best directors leaving Marvel to join DC, not only is he taking the best filmmakers and actors with him over to DC, he can't even do you the respect of actually promoting the Marvel movie he's supposed to be marketing. It's absolutely ridiculous. So James Gunn has teased a DC Marvel crossover, saying that it has been discussed and it's more possible because he's involved at DC, because he's running DC. Oh, thank God for James Gunn. What would we do if it wasn't for James Gunn? I mean, it's not possible without James Gunn that we couldn't have a Marvel DC crossover. Of course we could. Now, I've been very consistent on this, over covering these rumours for several years. I don't want it. Why don't I want it? Because it's padding. It's saying, come to me, everyone, come to me. I'm your man. I'm going to do this. I don't want to see it. I'm not even excited that he's talking about this. He has said that this might, even if it does take place, will take place somewhat in the future. It's not something that's going to happen anytime soon. Thank fuck for that. Because it's something I don't want. But Mick, why don't you want this? I know so many of you geeks and nerds would love this. I know that you had to go to the toilet to have a quick play with yourselves after James Gunn teased this and got very fucking excited. But I'm not excited about an Ironheart and Supergirl crossover. Because let me tell you something, that's all you're gonna fucking get. I don't even like the concept or the idea of a crossover. Now don't get me wrong, if there was a possibility of Superman versus Hulk, or Hulk versus Doomsday, or Wolverine versus, versus Doomsday, or Wolverine versus Superman or Batman, that could be fucking exciting. But you're never ever, people, let me be clear about this, you're never ever going to get this. These people are basically the cultural rapists, right? Basically, they're taking everything you loved, remaking it, rewriting history, and it's all about the old extremism, representation, and inclusion. So you're never going to get the Marvel and DC crossovers you want. Why is he mentioning this, right? Well, he's done this big Empire magazine spread, and he seems to have mentioned it in that. As I say, this doesn't excite me whatsoever. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it discussed. Now, if you're excited about this and this is what you want, that's great. That's up to you. I can't stop James Gunn having discussions and making plans for a DC and Marvel crossover. And the reason I'm happy it's not going to happen anytime soon is because, I've said it many a times, DC needs to get its house in order. And right now, its house is like the house the piggy made out of fucking straw. The wolf comes along, he's thinking, oh no, I'll blow this house down first because it's the fucking weakest, right? DC is in no position. And I mean, as I say, imagine being a Marvel fan. He's talking about DC. He's leaving Marvel for DC. Let me give you an analogy. Being an MCU stan right now is a bit like being a Manchester United fan. The other night I saw us struggle beat Brentford 1-0 while we played shit. I had to put the treble whip video on to remember better times. That's what it's like for MCU stans right now. Remembering better times because they're not in great times right now. Basically, the superhero trend is gone. Gaming movies are the trend. The Mario movie made so much fucking money in its first day. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of money that film's making. And it only cost $100 million to make. So, you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you're a fan of that, you can remember the times when you were making record-breaking box office, critics, everyone going, these are the best movies ever. This is the best franchise ever. Oh, James Gunn's the best director ever. Oh, Kevin Feige's God ever. The best God ever. And this is where you are now. You're on the floor and you're depressed, and you've got the director of your final Marvel trilogy movie basically bigging up a DC and Marvel crossover. But he goes beyond that. He starts teasing and talking about Superman Legacy during a marketing campaign of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a Marvel movie, an MCU movie. Tell me, if you're an MCU stan who just happens to watch this video, how do you feel about that? Don't you think it's an insult? Don't you find it insulting that he's doing this? So he talked about Superman Legacy not retreading old movies. He also talked about not redoing old DCEU storylines. I don't know what he's alluding to here, because he's not going to touch those storylines anyway. He ain't going to deal with most of the shit that's been dealt with in the DCEU, because he's moving to a new timeline. He's keeping the stuff he wants to keep, aka his Suicide Squad universe, and burning down or leaving. Basically, that's what he's doing. What's happening at the end of The Flash? They're going, bye-bye DCEU, we're going somewhere new. It's a bit like when you're in a bad marriage and you go to your missus, I know, let's try for a baby. If we have a baby, everything will be all right. Maybe I'll find you attractive. Maybe I won't be cheating on you anymore. That's what DC is attempting to do by going into a new timeline. Going into a new timeline doesn't fix anything apart from leaving behind the shit you've already built up and maybe building better shit. I don't know. No fucking idea. I'm not going to prejudge what Gunn and Saffron do. All I know is they come from the old WB Pictures regime, and I simply don't trust them. Now, if James Gunn builds something special and amazing, I'll be very, very happy about that. And if you think that's bad, we have got a woke Superman animated series called My Adventures with Superman. It's so exciting. All the Superman shills are really shilling it. Oh my God. Look at that costume. Look at that logo. Bestest ever. Of course, they don't want to talk about the black Jimmy Olsen and the lesbian-looking hairstyle of Lois Lane. Let's not talk about that. Why is it called My Adventures with Superman and not The Adventures of Superman? Why? Because it's not really about Superman. Yes, it's another fucking bait and switch. I'm sorry to keep on bursting your bubbles, but it's the fucking truth. I can only be honest with you. So no, James Gunn, I'm not excited that you've had discussions for a Marvel DC crossover. Let me have it, everyone. Let me know what you think. I don't think I'm saying the popular opinion. It's not a universal opinion. It's my opinion. Why would I want this? Why would I want an MCU DC crossover? What is there to be excited about? I've just explained to you what they won't do. That's what we want to see, right? We want to see the Hulk crossover with great DC characters, but we won't. We'll get the woke MCU characters with the woke DC characters that James Gunn's potentially going to give us. You're not going to get anything good here. And for you people who are excited about this potential crossover, you're excited for the Hulk kind of Wolverine, Superman, Batman crossovers, Justice League versus the Avengers crossovers. But let's look at what the Avengers is. Who's in the Avengers now, right? It ain't the cool Iron Man, it's Ironheart. It ain't the cool, Steve Rogers Captain America. It's the other one, right? I can't even remember his bloody name, right? It's shitty versions of the Avengers now. The original live-action Avengers in the MCU was great, right? And Snyder's Justice League was great. But we're not going to see those cool versions of the Justice League characters and the Avengers characters, face off. So what's the point? What's so exciting about this crossover? Oh, maybe if James Gunn gets it right, maybe if Faith gets phase 5 and phase 6 right, this could be an awesome crossover. It's not even worth talking about. Why are you talking about this, James? Why are you teasing this while you're supposed to be, marketing your fucking Marvel movie? It's ridiculous. It's an insult to Marvel stans. Not that I give a shit about how Marvel stans feel, considering the mocking they've given DC over the years. And I'm really excited and happy that your precious beloved MCU, the bestest ever, is failing. I'm very, very happy. Makes me laugh, makes me smile. It's great. I don't want this crossover. I want great DC movies. I don't care about interconnected franchises. I care about good movies, good shit. And you know what, James Gunn? Sooner or later, the time for talking will be over, and you're going to have to deliver Superman Legacy and The Authority and Creature Commandos and all this shit you're teasing. Then let's see how good you are. Put your money where your mouth is. At this moment in time, we're seeing you tease comic book panels that you didn't fucking draw the art for, right? You're giving us slates and everything. It's all very fun and exciting, but at the end of the day, it means very little to me. I can see through it. Teasing is great. It's great viral marketing. People get hyped. But without the stuff that comes out of it, the good stuff, without having something good to show for it, there's no point. So, yeah, you can talk about a DC Marvel crossover being in the discussions, but at the end of the day, James, it's not going to be good, is it, James? And it's probably never going to happen. It's all a bunch of bullshit. So call me unexcited. Call me uninterested. I don't want to see this shit. I don't want a Marvel and DC crossover because it's not going to be any good, because the peak times of DC via the Snyderverse and the peak times via the MCU via, let's call it the Joss Whedon kind of Avengers, is gone. It's dead. It's all finished. Entertainment is dead, everyone. It is dead, whether it's superheroes, this, that, or the other. There's still a few pieces of good shit. I'm really obsessed with the Avatar universe right now. I rewatched the first movie because I loved the second movie. I hope you checked out my review for Avatar, The Way of Water, one of the best films I've ever fucking seen. Jim Cameron gives me hope for entertainment, but he's old Hollywood, and you can't trust new Hollywood. James Gunn is new Hollywood, and I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. This doesn't mean I hate James Gunn. People get it all twisted. It's not personal. I don't know James Gunn. I don't know if he's a stand-up guy or a bad guy. And that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to me. But can I trust him to make me a great Superman movie, considering Superman is my all-time favourite character in fiction? Right now, I don't trust you, James Gunn. Hopefully, you prove me wrong. But right now, I'm seeing a bunch of DC movies failing. I'm seeing you say some concerning shit. You've removed Henry Cavill, a modern-day Superman that everybody loves, from your franchise and said, oh, we'll give you a role as an extra. Well, fan-dabby-dozy. Isn't that great, James Gunn, that Henry Cavill gets to play another fucking character? And even if that's true, you also said that Ben Affleck was going to direct a DCU movie. Ben Affleck says, not in this century, son. So all that was bullshit as well. So yeah, you can tell I'm a bit triggered about this DC Marvel crossover, because it's simply something I do not want. It just, look, everyone, it doesn't excite me. Why? Why would I be excited about this? Who at Marvel right now and who at DC can deliver a great crossover? Who wants to deliver a great crossover? I'll repeat myself again. All they want to do is get crossover, basically Black Panther with another woke character. You know, And we don't even have the peak Black Panther anymore, which makes it even fucking worse. You know, I don't want an Ironheart crossover with another female DC character. No one wants this, but that's your Avengers, everyone. They're doing an Ironheart Disney Plus series. That's where we're going, everyone. So you tell me what kind of awesome, Marvel DC crossover we're going to get. We're not, are we? We are not. You know it, and I know it. So how can I be excited about this? And basically him bringing up this topic is just an empty shell. It's an empty shell, everyone. It's pointless, and it doesn't lead to anything. This is what he does. He talks about stuff that doesn't lead to anything. Never, ever, ever. I promise you that, and he's talked about this before. We've had discussions before about Marvel and DC crossing over. And it trends on Twitter, and you get all the shills and the nerds going, oh my God, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to play with something. Basically, you've got to start seeing through the bullshit. Why is he talking about a Marvel and DC crossover? Because he's desperate. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is now available on digital to rent and buy. Oh, I wonder why that is in record time. What's that, 3 fucking weeks? That's a record, everyone, because it's done so badly. The box office for that movie is fucking embarrassing. It can't even be defended. We spoke yesterday about a Joker movie from Todd Phillips. R-rated, banned in China, making over $1 billion fucking dollars. Because it's a great fucking piece of art. And people still demand great pieces of art in this world. And that's what it's all about. And I demand it. And I want it. And I'm fed up of untalented people getting to work in this industry because they tick a fucking box. It has to stop. We are the masters of this universe, not these idiots, not these nut jobs, and we demand better. And if we don't get better, our wallets are going to stay in our pockets. That's why Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a flop. That's why that movie doesn't work. That's why it's not going to make any money. Well, let's see what happens to poor old Shazam. Will we ever see Zachary Levi's Shazam again? Maybe in cameos just to push back on so-called haters. It isn't about haters. Look at the way the people who made the movie and starred in the movie reacted. Rachel Zegler, who I've now muted because she really is a toxic, spoiled brat, and I dealt with her and muted her. David F. Sandberg, still crying about it. Zachary Levi, still crying about it. He's even crying about not being given a fair go by Feige at Marvel because he was in the first Thor movie. Boo-hoo! This is the industry. Do you realise how many fucking auditions I've gone to, kind of polished up, been professional and didn't get? I don't fucking cry about it because I understand that's the game. Sometimes things don't work out. That's why I moved to Cyprus. I have a lovely life. I run my own production company in a theatre that I pay for myself, in a building I pay for myself. I write, produce and direct and star in my own plays and make zero money out of it. And any money that does come our way, we give back to the community and to people who actually fucking need it. Because that's how much I love the art form. And this is what upsets me, like these creatively bankrupt people teasing Marvel and DC crossovers, because it's never gonna happen. They're taking your love for DC and Marvel and they're manipulating it because they're failing. But they have no intention of making great DC and great Marvel. Where's the evidence that the MCU is going to get better? Show me the evidence. With Iger in a fucking, investors call, doubling down on representation, inclusion, and wokeness, right? Where is the future? Star Wars now being teased. It's going to be run by Filoni with Kathleen Kennedy still running the company as president. How are things going to improve like that, calling Filoni the next George Lucas? There's only one fucking George Lucas. Only George Lucas can run Star Wars. He's too old to run it now. He's sold it. Only Jim Cameron can make Avatar movies because those franchises have their hearts in them. And that's why we love them. But, I mean, DC has never had a successful franchise. You know, we've had great wins in terms of individual movies. We've never had what Marvel ever had, or what Lord of the Rings ever had, or Harry Potter ever had. We've never had that. And of course, I'm quite envious about it. But I'm still proud about a lot of the movies that we've had in the past. And this is what DC needs to do. It needs to focus on making great movies, not teasing stuff during a Marvel marketing drive. So the Blue Beetle director has put his Twitter account on private. Well, 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 slap me in the face and call me unsurprised. I mean, this is what's really funny about these extremist creatives in Hollywood today. They can give it, but they can't take it. And I'm not talking about their sexual preferences, right? We saw that trailer to Blue Beetle, that awful bland trailer with some good VFX, right, and a good costume, right? And we saw what upset people about calling Batman a fascist. This little dictator, this little director went onto Twitter, laughed at the fans' upset, laughed at them and said, at least I've done my job. He got attacked by many, many fans, right? I don't know what was said to him, but now he's on private. Because if you're going to give it, if you're going to laugh at the fans and say, I've done my job, like you're proud of yourself, you're proud of being an extremist and calling Batman a fascist. How is Batman a fucking fascist? At least be honest. Be honest that it's not a joke. At least explain yourself. Say, right, I believe this, I believe that. If you're not a DC fan, you know, it's like me going around saying Blue Beetle's a fascist. It wouldn't make fucking sense, would it? But if Ted Kord was their Blue Beetle, they'd be calling him a fascist because he's a straight white male. And this is what it's all about. He's spoken about not representing, you know, white bread, cookie cutter Latino families. That's his words, this director's words, not mine. He has no motivation to give you a great version of Blue Beetle. He's not interested in giving you a great Blue Beetle movie. All he cares about is his extremism. If he was just representing a run-of-the-mill, relatable Latino family with some great VFX, with an half-decent, exciting movie, I would let it pass, and so would the rest of the fans. But calling Batman a fascist is crossing over the line, because we want these DC movies and TV shows to celebrate DC, not put down these characters, not to use their political extremism. You know, that's the point, isn't it, as far as I'm concerned? And that's what upsets me. Sorry about that interruption, it was a technical hitch. So where was I? Yeah, so this Blue Beetle director, like many directors from New Hollywood, have no intention of entertaining you or giving you a great Blue Beetle movie. As I said, I want people celebrating these characters, not putting down one DC character in another DC character's movie. And this is what you're going to get in this movie. It's going to be another flop. It's going to be a mid-movie. It may not be a bad movie, but it won't be a great movie either. And it's just going to upset people because that's what these people are interested in doing. So you can see from him putting his Twitter account on private that he's another big baby, because these people are surrounded by yes men and yes women. Yes, sir. No, sir. You're right. Your politics are right. Have you ever lived in a world, if you're a little bit older, if you're around my age, I'm 50, right? Have you ever lived in a world where people can't handle opposing political opinions? These people can't. But this isn't even about politics. He said something. He basically took the red rag out and go, come on DC fans, come for me, because of course, if this movie, or should I say when this movie flops, they're going to blame toxic fandom, because it's always the customer's fault, isn't it? Right, you need to understand that we are in charge. We are the bosses, we are the gangsters, we are the monsters. If we say jump, you little directors and executives and shareholders of these studios and networks and streaming companies, you say, how fucking high, sir and ma'am? We're in charge. Because if we keep our wallets in our pockets, you ain't got nothing, bud. And you lose your work, you lose your job, and you don't get to make your sequels and your spin-offs on your streaming shitty platforms, right? But instead of respecting your superiors and your bosses and your masters, the customer, you disrespect us. This is the kind of industry we're in, because they believe we'll watch their crap, whatever they make, so they can abuse us. That's why they do abuse us. That's why they make the shit they make today. That's why Marvel's become so woke, so extremist, and so bad. And Walter Hamada was trying to take the DCEU in the same direction. And Batgirl and Blue Beetle is undisputed evidence of this, everyone. And this is where we are today. And this is why DC is in the pan. This is why Marvel is in the pan. This is why actual DC Comics is in the pan. This is why Marvel Comics is in the pan. Because society have allowed an extremist, insane movement to take over major companies, major industries around the world. And this is where we are now. Away from entertainment, just quickly. I was watching Good Morning Britain, which is a morning British television programme if you live in another country and you don't know what it is. They were having a debate about, teaching kids about different body shapes and sizes by having adults strip off naked in class in front of them. Now, if anyone lined my nieces and nephews, who I adore, who are my heart and soul, in a classroom and stripped off in front of them, I would fucking fine them. But you see, this is where we are today. I'm giving you that example to show you where we are today. We are in a crazy fucking world where these extremists run schools, businesses, right? Loads of different businesses like entertainment, and it's gone mad, right? Quickly, again, changing the subject from DC, you've got Brokeback Mountain, a beautiful, a same-gender love story. Then New Hollywood give you Bros. I mean, come on, everyone. Let's be honest about it. These people don't know how to direct. They don't even know where the camera should point. They don't even guess. They can't even bother to guess where to point the fucking camera. But these are the people running entertainment. No wonder DC is shit. These are the people who thought it was a good idea to sack Snyder and bring someone else in to take his film and recycle it as something else and get Steppenwolf to wear a fucking helmet, right? It was like watching some spoof. Justice League is a fucking spoof. It's one of the most embarrassing moments in entertainment history, in Warner Brothers over 100 years history, right? They'll make documentaries about Justice League. Justice League is the day New Hollywood was born. And we spoke about it. We fought for the Snyder Cut. The fight for the Snyder Cut was the customer fighting back against a newly created, newly born New Hollywood. And they're so weak, we beat them with knowledge and intellect. They tried everything to deny the Snyder Cut existed. Do you remember? Does it exist? Is it real? Of course it does. Yes, of course it does, Zach. It wasn't ready. It wasn't a ready movie. But the fucking movie had been shot and they had been denying it. These are the liars. And, these people from the old WB Pictures who are still there, this is the side that Saffron and Gunn are on. So don't you dare start believing their bullshit about Marvel and DC crossovers. Don't you dare allow them to get away with calling Batman a fascist, because Batman is a hero that so many men and women and lots of different people from different cultures. It isn't just rich people, right? It ain't just straight white males who love Batman. It's black people. It's empowering. It's Asian people. It's gay people. It's trans people. Lots of normal, sane people don't think Batman is a fascist. It's an extremist opinion from an extremist industry. It's very sad. It's very hurtful. Thank fuck I've got a beautiful physical media collection so I can watch the great movies. I'm binging 24, something far superior than the streaming shit we're getting today. Sorry, when I'm angry, I spit. And I'm not redoing the video because I spat. What TV show on streaming today is as awesome as 24? And now, right, they're basically ripping off 24 on Netflix with The Night Manager and A Night Agent, right? Another bait and switch situation. No. Old Hollywood, old entertainment is where it's at. The patriarchy ran entertainment better than these extremists, and that is the end of today's show. This has been Friday's edition of the DC Universe Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.